welcome to the Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I'm your host, Chance Pitts, and I would like to thank you for tuning in to this episode. Guys, as always, right off the bat, if you receive value from this episode or any of the other episodes we are putting out, be sure to share those episodes and our message with like-minded people. That's the only way we're going to be able to grow this thing and move in a positive direction. We're not going to run ads. We're not going to push it too hard on social media from this point forward either. So if you are receiving that value, please help us grow and move in the right direction. Additionally, you can also help us out by getting us moved up in the rankings on the podcast side by leaving us a rating or review or subscribing to the podcast on whatever platform you find yourself listening on. You can also check us out and keep up with daily content. That's at Next in Line Development on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're doing pretty good on TikTok. Just got about 1,000 likes for now, so a little milestone, but definitely moving the right direction. Couple of big things coming up in life. Getting ready, just finished up 75 hard not too long ago, but diving straight into the next challenge, we've got the 100K, that's a 62-mile race at Brazos Bend State Park. It is a ultra marathon, trail marathon I'm very excited about. I'm running the 62-miler, and my dad is actually running the 50-miler. We've also got a couple of other things in the works as well. We've got a Tough Mudder coming up with some good friends, and then we've got a ski trip up to Colorado with the family, so getting very busy. Gonna get a little bit hectic, but we're gonna stick with it and make sure that we're keeping up with these episodes and giving you something to listen to on a weekly basis as promised. Guys, diving into Thoughtful Thursday for today. So what I want to talk to you about today is just motivation in general. And I'm going to start it out by saying motivation can be a very screwed up thing. And what I mean by that is motivation can be from a very negative place. Think about the things that move you in a certain direction. Think about the things that get you motivated to move away from where you are. Maybe it's growing up around a family who had very unhealthy habits, who is now mostly obese, and who are dealing with the repercussions of all those decisions throughout the years. Maybe you're coming from a family with divorced parents and you don't want to pass that tradition on to your kids. Maybe you have a tough spiritual relationship right now with God, or a different understanding of where you stand, or maybe you don't even understand. Maybe your financial means, your family's always been poor, always paycheck to paycheck. No one's graduated college. You're looking to break that curse. Maybe you made some bad decisions. Maybe you got in trouble with the law. Maybe it was a drug addiction. Maybe it was a DWI. Maybe you made a lot of bad decisions when you were younger. I know I made some questionable ones myself and was probably just fortunate enough not to get caught. Nothing too crazy, of course. But guys, what I'm saying is motivation can come from a very negative place. You don't want to be something, so you move away from it. It's fight or flight. You fly away from it, or you fight it off. You try to not become what others around you that you don't like, or you have a negative connotation surrounding, are. You try to move away from that situation. You try to get yourself as far away from it as you can. And it's not a bad thing, guys. It's nothing to feel bad about. But in some ways, it's a little less than desirable as far as a place to get your motivation. I know, like I talked about in the previous podcast, that self-hate that I went through was a huge negative situation motivator to move me in a positive situation. I know where I was mentally, the decisions I was making. I didn't like where I was when I drank, and I drank a whole lot. I didn't like the way I invested myself into my job to find some sense of accomplishment. I didn't like what I allowed myself to do and how I allowed myself to act to other people because of how I felt about myself. So a lot of those negative things and the things that I did not see as positive, especially at the time, moved me in a very positive direction. That's one place you can find motivation, and it's okay to do that. That is the number one place people find it. They're embarrassed of something. They don't want to be whatever they are. I know I've been in that spot many times before, and that's moved me in a very positive direction. There's also ways that you can find motivation in positive places, obviously. I listen to a ton of motivational speakers. I listen to Andy Frisella. Steve Harvey's a great one. Kobe's a great one. I've mentioned them before. Kevin Gates, Snoop Dogg even. Some of these guys are fantastic. I dive into a number of motivational books and development books that are positive, that move me in the right direction. I've read here recently, Dichotomy of Leadership, Extreme Ownership, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I am currently reading John Eldridge's Wild at Heart. I've read Can't Hurt Me by Dave Goggins. The Four Agreements, which my dad actually just finished up now as well. It's a fantastic book for anybody that's looking to learn how to make promises and keep them to yourself. And guys, other places as well come to that very positive energy for us. I know a lot of us that are on here obviously listen to podcasts. I'm no stranger to podcasts myself. I listen to Joe Rogan. I listen to Ryan Mickler and The Order of Man. I listen to the 3 of 7 Project, and I even listen to Real AF and the MF CEO Project by Andy Frisella as well. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with that, with 75 Hard and all that. But then there's other sources of motivation. We get around people, and the ones we surround ourselves with on a daily basis are a huge proponent of that. I talk to a few people on a regular basis. I talk to a mentor of mine, a good friend back in Houston on a regular basis. Very positive interactions every single time. I've got great friends I talk to regularly in Houston. Very, very positive interactions. My wife and I, very positive interactions. My dad is pretty much one of my best friends, let's be honest. We talk every single day. Very, very positive interactions. Same with my family and my friends that I'm close with down here. I've got my cousin that I've mentioned to y'all before as well. Just whatever I try to do, I try to surround myself with successful and positive people. And it's like the old saying says, if you hang out with 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. You're only as good as those people you hang out with. It's like they say as well, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You've got to be able to find positivity and find motivation in any situation you find yourself in, whether that be negative or whether it be positive. It can be from work. It can be a combination of the two. Think about that. If you're in a leadership position right now in work, or you're in a position that you really enjoy being in, but it's got its own issues, maybe you want to be an entrepreneur and it's a stepping stone to get where you want to go to fund your business startup and all that. In a lot of ways, it's a very positive thing that you're being able to hold a steady job and have a source of income while you start your business or do your own thing or get ready for whatever's next in line for you. But also, it can be a very negative thing because you're not doing what you want to do yet. But in a lot of ways, it's still motivation. Maybe you like the people you're around and you work with on a daily basis, and they're in the same boat as you. Maybe you like being a leader to those people. Whatever it is, it'll motivate you to move in the right direction if you use that ammo in the right way. But guys, no matter where or what or how you get your motivation on a daily basis or weekly, whatever it is, wherever you're at in your goal process, in the range that you're looking at, and how you move yourself forward, none of that matters. That motivation means absolutely nothing if you yourself don't take ownership and move forward with bettering and developing yourself. You are the person who is responsible for your own growth. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it one more time for y'all just in case you haven't heard it. The situation you find yourself in might not be your fault. That is entirely possible. But no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what your situation, it is your responsibility to take control of your life and move it in a positive direction, because no one else is going to do that for you. I had to figure this out, and I have become so much better for it. And I believe you can too. Guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Next in Line podcast. Like I said, if you received value from this, make sure you're sharing, make sure you're subscribing, you're liking, leaving us a rating and review, checking us out on social media at Next in Line Development, and always be prepared for whatever is next in line.